And to discuss that ruling now, we're going to turn to Santiago Escobar in Toronto, Canada. He is the coordinator of the anti-Chevron campaign there in Canada. Hello, Santiago, and first let me just congratulate you on that ruling. I'm wondering if you can explain the case for us. So to wrap up that case, what were the Ecuadorian indigenous communities there demanding?
Of course, yeah, it's basically we are happy, we're full of energy, of hope, because now it's proved that big players and big corporations can defeat it too. So basically, as you have said, after 3 decades of oil exploitation, Texaco Chevron dumped about 18 billion gallons of wastewater in the rivers, destroying wildlife and negatively affecting homegrown agriculture. This has led to high cancer rates and birth defects among the local population, or what we know as the Amazonian Chernobyl. So basically, on December 2013, the Ontario Court of Appeal ruled that Ecuadorian indigenous communities have the right to pursue Chevron assets in Canada.
And
Chevron appealed the sorry.
Go ahead.
Chevron appealed the decision to the Supreme Court, arguing that Chevron U.S. is different than Chevron Canada. So basically, this is the main issue at the Supreme Court, because Chevron was already found guilty in Ecuador. So this is about seizing Chevron assets in Canada.
And to what extent does that sentence today go beyond that sentence and have implications for human rights victims worldwide, since it can be really, to what extent can it be a push for other victims elsewhere to pursue their rights against these huge companies?
Yeah, this ruling shows that the most vulnerable, the poor, the voiceless, ordinary people also have rights. They also exist, and finally they can get justice. This is a huge precedent, especially here in Canada, because communities across the world are resisting Canadian corporations, mining corporations. So, and in order to demand accountability. So this ruling also gives us energy and hope. Basically, like I said, corporations can be defeated too. So here in Canada, this will change the whole picture and will open the path to finally make corporations accountable here in Canada. As you have known, most of the big mining corporations have their headquarters here in Toronto.
And these big companies, they really have a lot of tricks up their sleeves. The oil giant there tried to hide its assets in overseas subsidiaries, sort of as a way to evade paying civil judgments in environmental cases. That's something multinational companies do often. Do you think this ruling here can help stop those little tricks that they use?
Yeah. We know Chevron's dirty tricks. We know corporations' dirty tricks. So unfortunately, these dirty tricks have been emulated by all corporations in order to avoid liability. So I think, like I said already, this opens a big window to finally make those corporations accountable. And I think now the environmental movement, the social justice movement here in Canada will use this ruling as a precedent, because in the past, many communities, especially from Central America, have sued mining corporations here in Canada, and they didn't get any justice. So this is, is a big victory, like I said, for the indigenous communities, for the voiceless people, and we are so happy to have this news.
And quickly here, this sentence, it really only allows the victims to move ahead with their demands over Chevron assets in Canada, but it doesn't necessarily mean they have won this case for good. What can we expect here, and what do you think will eventually happen here?
The affected ones will continue the legal process. So basically, that means that the ruling from the Supreme Court has to get back to the Ontario Superior Court in order to enforce the ruling. So that means seizing Chevron assets. So we will see, as you might know, Chevron will use all the legal and illegal means to avoid to get accountability. So basically, they have all the money in the world. They have an army of about 1,000 lawyers. So they will use all legal and illegal means to stop the affected ones by seizing their assets here in Canada. But social movement, civil society, we will be also putting some pressure on Chevron, and we will be mobilizing our communities, and we will also demanding that Chevron finally pay what they own, pay and clean up their mess they left behind in Ecuador.
Well, we will continue to keep an eye on it here. All right, Santiago Escobar joining us from Toronto, Canada. Mr. Escobar, thank you.
Thank you so much.